All for great savings, right? Flow gives you up to $80 a month off your mobile by just adding it to your home bundle. Enjoy the fastest internet speeds and free mobile calls from your home phone, plus HBO and free internet speed upgrade. That's more value while you spend less. Switch today. Bundle and save up to $80 a month off your mobile. Call us at 1-800-804-2994 or visit us in store. Flow, keeping you connected. Terms and conditions apply.
Good night, St. Lucia, and welcome to another episode of Police Insight, NBC's Police Insight. I'm your host, Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. I'd like to say good night to our leadership. Commissioner Mosheri, good night to you, sir. How are you doing? Our deputies, ACPs, Gazette officers, good night to you all. Our inspectors, sergeants, corporals, constables, both junior and senior, good night to you. Special police constables, special reserve officers, city police, good night to you. Our peace wardens, good night to you. Ex-police officers, thank you for all the service you have done for your country. And also you continue to serve, because I always say, once a police officer, always a police officer. Our brothers and sisters in law enforcement, prison officers, yes, I see the Budley Correctional Facility has kind of made the headlines with what we saw over social media. I'd like to say good night to you guys. Hold on strong. Good night to all our fire officers and also those at the ports, port police, security officers around the country, doing what you can to protect businesses and all other types of important places. Good night to you. Last but not least, but of course, those of you tuned in, this is NBC. We're live, we're streaming on Facebook. This is where you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that Police Insight is on. I have a guest tonight, and I cannot wait to introduce him. But before I do that, I just need to speak on a little, just a few issues, a few concerns. As you know, I'm not even going to play it because I don't want to even play that video anymore, because to me, the actions of the individuals are so unfortunate, and so it's repulsive to me that I'm not going to play it. But most of you are aware of the viral video where some of our peace wardens were apparently attempting to effect an arrest on an individual for allegedly breaching one of our COVID protocols. And as the video continues, you realize that there are persons who got involved, obstructing, assaulting, even to the point of threatening the officers. And I've seen it on social media. I've even heard certain talk show hosts and individuals calling to those shows demeaning or bringing to question the powers of those peace officers if they are like the police. Let me educate you a little bit. I'm reading from the Police Act, and that is Section 57. And just for the purpose of actually being informed properly, yes, we say the term COVID wardens. They're actually peace officers, as in P-E-A-C-E, to keep the peace, peace officers. So I'm going to read from Section 57 of the Police Act. And it says, subsection 1, the Commissioner of Police may, after consultation, trying my best to keep the mask on there, with Cabinet, appoint fit and proper persons to be peace officers generally on any occasion if it appears to him or her to be expedient and in the interest of public order and safety and the overall deployment of the force. It goes on to say, subsection 2, subject to section 8, any appointment made under subsection 1 shall be for a period not exceeding 18 months, but the period may, with the approval of cabinet, be extended for any further period not exceeding 6 months at a time. Subsection 3, a peace officer shall perform any functions and carry out any duties as may be assigned to him or her by the Commissioner of Police. Subsection 4, for the purposes of this part, peace officers means any person appointed into the force. And let me say that part again. Appointed into the force in accordance with this section because of any area or speciality or skill of that peace officer relating to police work. And the last section, authority. Very important. I need you all to hear this part very carefully. Every special constable and peace officer, which is what our COVID wardens are, shall have and enjoy the same powers, authorities, advantages, and immunities as a police officer. Police Act. I want the public to respect those peace officers. Okay? They are young St. Lucians. Young St. Lucians, our very own, who have been tasked with a very important job, important duty. Okay? When most of us have the luxury of working from home, when most of us have the luxury of staying away, distancing themselves as much as they can because of our own inability to respect the protocols, our own ability to look at our neighbor and say, hey, you're doing wrong, man. You need to wear your mask. Hey, man, you know alcohol is not supposed to be served, but you're doing it anyways. Hey, listen, you need to stop having private parties at your home. Because of our inability, the authorities had to police. But then again, we've always policed our actions anyway. Because you would tell somebody, don't park there, they'll still park there. You put double yellow lines, they'll still park there. You put a no parking sign, they would still park there. And when the police come over to do his or her work, they would still get on for getting a ticket for parking there. So that's just how it is. But I want people to respect those peace wardens. They're police officers. They took the oath, and they have a job to do. If you have a problem with a peace officer, any police officer, okay, then you report that individual, or you take it to the courts, or you go to a lawyer. But there are some people who feel that they cannot be arrested, they cannot be challenged, you know, they just cannot be, and that is not right. And for those of you who are saying, oh, maybe it's because those officers don't know how to deal with people because they got probably 2 weeks training or whatnot. I received the full 6 months training. I'm 25 years service, and I still get people who do not listen to a lawful command or order from me. I've had people in all my years of service who have resisted my arrest. So, what are we saying, people? Okay? So, these peace officers, if you guys are listening, any of you guys are doing a great job. You know, read the act, read the police act, you know, read the laws that empower you, read the COVID-19 Prevention Act. There are times where you need to use some form of discretion We need to watch your approach and when speaking to people. You need to do that also, but you also need to stand firm, especially when you are, whatever you're doing is within your lawful right. Okay? So I just wanted to touch on that. I wanted to speak about that. You know, let us support the peace officers. They're trying to do a great job. They're assisting the police. Police officers support the peace officers. You know, as much as we can, let's give them that support. Because at the end of the day, COVID-19 does not care who you are. It affects us all. Yeah? All right. So let's see what else is on the agenda. Shane, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, there was an address to the nation just early on, started about 6:30ish, something like that. And just to summarize the new updated protocols, I think we have the slides. Let us start with the first one, just for those of you who may have missed it. So state of emergency, effective Wednesday, tomorrow, people, 3rd February 2021. Daily curfew from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. Supermarkets and pharmacies will remain open during the state of emergency. State of emergency in place initially for 7 days. No need to panic buy. Essential services which are allowed to operate will be listed on www.covidresponse.lc. Next slide, we have we have this one there. Okay. So visitors to St. Lucia will now require a PCR test within 5 days rather than 7 days. Okay, prior to traveling to St. Lucia, all visitors will have to get a PCR test done no more than 5 days before traveling to the island. Visitors from Canada and the United Kingdom are not expected given current travel restrictions. Next one, Shane. Okay, let's see, 74,400 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine are expected on island mid to late February 2021. The Ministry of Health has prepared the plan for dissemination in a 3-phased approach commencing the first week of March 2021. The vaccine will be free of charge and on a voluntary basis. Importantly, people, because you know we've had those concerns, those questions actually. So to read that again, the vaccine will be free of charge and on a voluntary basis. So you have a choice. Officials of the Ministry of Health shall be providing further updates and guidance to the public as we prepare for the introduction of the COVID-19 vaccine. And I think we have one more. Do we have one more? Okay. So once again, to reiterate, supermarkets and pharmacies will remain open. Supermarkets and pharmacies island-wide will remain open during the state of emergency. There is no need to panic buy. Thank you, Shane. Okay, and for those who tuned in, there are lots of our leaders. The leader of the opposition was there. There's different stakeholders, Chamber of Commerce, Manufacturers Association was there, the president of the Medical and Dental Association also. So we had what appeared to be a unified front from our leaders when it comes to the fighting of COVID. And this is what we need, people, a unified front. We can always have our differences. I mean, that's what makes us human. That's what democracy is about. But we are now fighting one enemy that does not care about our differences. So whether we support a particular party or not, whether we support the police or not, whether we're Catholic or Seventh-day or Muslim, black, white, fair, you like shabins, you rather dark women, it doesn't matter. I'll have to ask my guest if he rather the shabin than the dark women when I introduce him. But honestly, it doesn't matter. So we need to understand how serious this is. So also, what went viral yesterday, there's a couple, a gentleman with his 2 lady friends who introduced their relationship to the public in terms of a polygamous relationship. You know, where a man has 2 female companions or more. Yeah, and I think they were interviewed by NBC. They were interviewed by the various newscasts, and also they were on a Facebook live post. So I just wanted to educate again. And if the gentleman is listening, it will be, I know one of his aspirations is to marry his ladies. So you'd have 2 wives. Well, sir, it is a crime to actually do that.
Polygamy?
Actually, it's called bigamy. It's section 178 of the Criminal Code of St. Lucia. And if I were to read, a person commits bigamy who, knowing that a marriage exists between him or her and another person, goes for a ceremony of marriage with some other person. And you could go to jail for 7 years for doing that. Yeah? So, I don't know, young man, how successful you would be in St. Lucia. Maybe you might have to leave the island that gave you birth. Or maybe you might just have to rethink your future aspirations. I wish you all the best. That's your life. That's how you want to live. And you know, he was saying there are lots of guys who wish they were like him. But I could tell you, my brother, there are lots of guys that say, partner, 1 already is a lot.
Too much.
2, enjoy yourself, bro. We good. We're not getting involved. Okay, I have a video that speaks to gender-based violence, while we're kind of on that topic in terms of men and women affairs. It's from a couple cares, Sergeant Chauvin Matthew. Let's roll that video. See.
Gender-based violence refers to harmful acts directed at an individual based on their gender. It is rooted in gender inequality, the abuse of power, and harmful norms. It is estimated that 1 in 3 women will experience sexual or physical violence in their lifetime. We should all use our voices to bring the awareness to this topic. Let's not turn a blind eye. She can be our mother, our sister, or even our auntie. Gender-based violence is not acceptable.
Remember that at any given moment, you have the power to decide that this is not how your story is going to end. Walking away from something unhealthy may seem daunting at first, but it is the bravest thing you can do for yourself and your children.
Yes, gender-based violence is a real thing, and we all know that. However, I believe we men, we need to take a more active role in lending our voices to the abuses that women face, especially in relationships. You know, and you know how it is. We guys, we have guy friends, you know, usually with the boys, we lime. And most times, we are aware when one of our guy pals, buddies, is ill-treating his girlfriend or wife. We are aware. Sometimes we even encourage, you know. We have this macho bravado thing about us where, you know, where he would actually say, you know, I had to touch up Sandy last night because Sandy disrespected me. So I had to give her 1-2 slaps. And what some of us do, instead of condemning that, he would say, yeah, man, that's the women have to respect us, that's we're the man. I'm in charge. No, it's wrong. Okay? It's wrong. There's no reason to hit a woman. There's no reason to abuse a woman. There's none at all. Okay? If you have reached to that point where this is what you have to do, then brother, that means you're not happy. Then brother, move on. You know how much women there are on earth? There are lots. You know, and we the police and all the other agencies involved, you know, we try our best to do what we can with the resources that we have to ensure that we take those men, and some will say, but officer, don't forget, there are women who beat men also, and that is so true. However, the statistics and the data that is presented to us shows clearly that majority of the perpetrators are men. So that's why most times you would hear us talking to the men. That doesn't mean that it doesn't happen the other way. Yeah, but we need to do what we can and do better at protecting the more vulnerable in society. Our women, our children, the elderly. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so what we're going to do, Shane, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, my guest, stay tuned to Police Insight.
How quickly the coronavirus spreads, each new case calls for increased public vigilance. Know what is happening, understand why, and comply. Think of the protocols as war tactics. Personal protection tactics. Keep 6 feet away from others. Avoid riding the bus, gathering on beaches, in bars, and shops. Public protection tactics. Quarantine yourself if you feel fluish in case you have been exposed. Call 311 or a respiratory clinic for advice. Country tactics. Partial lockdown. Supermarkets, small grocers, pharmacies, and ATMs are accessible before curfew. Total lockdown. Everywhere stays closed 24/7 for a stipulated period. Team tactics. Don't only follow the protocols. Be a protocols police. Let's win this.
Together let us win this war. Say we shall be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
Hi, my name is Sidil, and you may know some of my hits like this one.
Don't play with man. Man pull up like 10 bad man.
Our music inspires and entertains. It powers festivals and is an integral part of our history and culture. Creating good music takes hours of thought, writing, arranging, recording, and production. When people or businesses who use our music publicly or for commercial gain get a music license, they're not just keeping the law, they're also supporting music creators, producers, musicians, singers, sound engineers, and many others in the music industry. Keep the great music coming. Get a music license for your business place or event. Support music rights.
For more information, visit echorights.com. This message is brought to you by Echo and this Echo license station. Echo. Protecting music rights.
All for great savings, right? Flow gives you up to $80 a month off your mobile by just adding it to your home bundle. Enjoy the fastest internet speeds and free mobile calls from your home phone, plus HBO and free internet speed upgrade. That's more value while you spend less. Switch today, bundle and save up to $80 a month off your mobile. Call us at 1-800-804-2994 or visit us in store. Flow, keeping you connected. Terms and conditions apply.
You're watching MBC.
Welcome back to Police Insight. Your host there, Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte of the Royal Seneschal Police Force. Thank you for staying tuned. Some quick shout outs before I introduce my guest. Francisco Wilson, good night to you. Amanda Charles, good night. Glenn Prudent, how you doing, sir? Captain Prudent, good night. Sabina Charles, my wonderful cousin, how you doing? Claire Joseph, watching from England, good night to you. Don Murray McDonald up in the US. Who else? Victor C. Anthony. Oh, always there, my brother. Thank you for the support. Lana Beaton. Who else we have here? Nancy Jabatis. Good night. Wendell Louise. Laura Wilfred. Natalia Gilbert. Who else? Monica Love. Good night to you. Ivy Michelle. Omani Joseph. Oh yeah, you guys are always locked in. And Mary Albert, good night to you. How you doing? Nice to see you. Catherine St. Bernard, Melody Martley, yes, Sanchez, yes, Lucy Isidore. Good night to you all. Thank you for, especially those of you who are in the Facebook chat. So, without further ado, once again, he's been here before, but we're here again to bring out the positive message. Let us know what he's been up to. So, I'd like to say good night to Mr. Gaspard Henry.
The same to you, my brother.
CEO of Feed the Poor Ministries.
Thanks for having me, my brother.
What's up,
Appreciate
buddy?
it. I'm fine, thank you, by the grace of God.
Yeah.
Can't complain, you know. Times are hard, but we always have to carry that kind of positiveness in us that, you know, we can be able to traverse the storms of life, you know.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I could imagine how things has been. We're about to go into a state of emergency and all that. But we're going to get into what does this mean for your ministry. Mr. Henry, you here. Your ministry is celebrating a milestone. Could you tell us about it?
Well, it is our 15th year that we have been feeding the poor, the homeless, the senior citizens, and the elderly amongst us. We believe that the infrastructure that we are enjoying right now, the senior citizens are responsible for it. You know, they paved the way for us.
That's true.
I
like that. You are so correct.
Yes, you know, we just end up walking on roads, you know, shortcuts, tracks, things that we are enjoying. And we believe that it just came just so. No, the senior citizens paved the way. So if they are in a position where they cannot take care of themselves, I think we who are blessed should be able to ensure that we go beyond the call of duty to at least give them a meal. So it all started in 2006 through divine revelation at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Divine revelation? Divine
revelation at 3 o'clock in the morning. I used to be living at Bishop Gap in those days, you know. A voice came to me and told me, feed the poor, feed the poor. Just so you know, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I called my wife and I told her, well, Carol, God is telling me to feed the poor. So she told me, there are so many people that have all kind of big money. Why is me that God is telling to feed the poor? So, Brother Zachary, I tried to sleep, but I just couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. So when it was 5 o'clock in the morning, I called a prayer warrior. I have people praying for me. And you must have people praying for you, you know, whilst you're on the battlefield.
I respect that.
So her name is Sister Ia. I said, Sister Ia, I'm getting that kind of call to feed the poor. So she told me, well, go and sleep. She'll pray about it. So when she told me that, I was able to fall asleep. When it was 6 o'clock, she called and she told me God has spoken to her and told her to reveal to me that I should start I should start the work. Brother Zachary, I didn't tell my wife anything much. When it was about 8 o'clock in the morning, I went straight to Scotiabank. And I made a withdrawal off my bank account of $500.
Is that so?
Yes, my brother. And I went to Super J and I buy unusual shopping because 2 of us in the house and my wife see me coming home with 1 box of groceries. She asked me, well, why I do that? I do that big shopping. And then I told her, well, we are going to start the feeding program. And she told me, well, who is doing the cooking? I told her, well, so I told her, well,
that's a good question.
It cannot be me. It cannot be me. Because I could only do my little 1 pot for myself and them kind of things. So, and what I like about her is that she humbled herself and she began the cooking.
And she supported you.
And she supported me.
Wow.
And that day, I think she did 25 meals. And there was a school teacher at the school opposite the gas station by the airport there. I don't know if it's Carmen Rennie or Carmen Henry. This school always mixing me up. His name is Vernon Nicholas. He provided transport. At Brother Zachary, we went at the city hall with 25 meals. The pack was a little different. The Sir John Compton's statue wasn't there. And the other people were just there. So I told them, well, there is food for them Brother Zachary?
And that's how it started.
I see one line.
There is food for them, and that's how it started.
That's how it started. That's 2006.
Wow.
That's how it started. Brother Zachary, when I see the line show up, I say, well, what, Gaspar, what you really get into? Because the food just went like that. So I say, well, hey, you know, I'm that thing working. And gradually, my wife began cooking the food. And, you know, more and more you have to go and do your withdrawals, your $500 again. That's how it started.
Wow.
Until Mr. Hinkson, Chester Hinkson, he was the manager of Scotiabank. I salute you, my brother. That man came to the city hall and he saw me serving the meals. He said, Gaspar, what you doing there? I said, so well, I'm serving the meals. I got a dream to, a vision to serve meals. He told me, man, you have a big heart. You have a big heart. When you finish serve the meals, come to me. That was about the second month in operation. In those days, he was the manager of Scotiabank. But Zachary, when I went to Mr. Hinkson, he brought me in his office and he spoke to me. And he picked up his phone. And he called Colin Foster, the attorney at law. Colin Foster, his office was opposite the parish center in those days on Mikwood Street. And he said, Mr. Foster, I am sending a young man to you so you could assist him in forming a charitable organization. And he told me, from this month, the bank will have what you call a standing order. Something where the bank, where you could just, I'm sending the money to the account one time.
I see.
And every month, Mr. Scotia Hinkson as manager ensure that Scotiabank gave $500 towards the charity. I didn't have my certificate as yet. 'Now you could see 25th January 2007. So that means I stayed 1 year. I stayed 1 year running the organization on my pocket. Brother Zachary, there were attorneys.
That's amazing.
There were attorneys from the Attorney General office that used to come and investigate to ensure,
yes, that you're not using the monies for any other gain or something like that.
Feed the Poor Ministry have been tried, tested, and proven. Yes, man.
15 years.
15 years, man. So that is my certificate, and I feel happy that I faced the challenges. There were tough times. There were critical times where I felt like giving up because, Brother Zachary, our people not easy.
And you know, it's important you brought this up in terms of credibility because, I mean, in my recent memories, especially when I was working Rodney Bay, I remember seeing different individuals with documents, whatnot, saying that they have a charitable ministries and they're asking people for monies. I don't see them anymore. and I know they made a lot of money, and I don't see them anymore.
You see, Brother Zachary, I'll do something. When you see you are called, it's a different thing to when you just pick up and start something on your own. You will fade away. But when you see you are called, there is a passion within you because you are called. So many people just take it on their own and just start. And when the rough times come now, they fall by the wayside because the house was built on sand. It wasn't built on the rock.
I like that.
But Feed the Poor Ministry was built and founded on the rock, my brother. And if it's one thing I want to say, is that, yes, there were people who criticized me because they did not see, they did not know where I was going. But when you see you continue persevering, those same people that criticize you, they have no choice now but to come and tell you, well, boy, okay, well, boy, keep it up. Because everything they did to try to break you,
it couldn't work.
It couldn't work, my brother.
Now this time I'm going a little more in depth if you're a little more personal. So I'm going to ask you a few tough questions.
Go ahead, my brother.
Mr. Henry, was there a time you were homeless? I know a little bit whisper something.
But Zachary, I will share that story with my people. And I will tell my people, I do not want y'all to feel sorry for me. I am not looking for people to sympathize, but I will tell y'all that I am sharing that part of my life to motivate y'all, to encourage y'all, to strengthen y'all. Brother Zachary, as you knew that I was a police officer from 1989 to 91. I worked with people like Vernon Foswa, the former commissioner. I worked with Moore Sherry. I work with some good people, you know. I work with some good people, you know. And I lost my job because in those days, if you committed any small sin under the 2 years,
during your probation,
during your probation, the empire could have raised his finger.
Yes.
And once the empire raises his finger,
that's it.
You have to walk, you know.
Now it's a little more difficult.
Now it's a little difficult because
knows a lawyer,
they have human rights.
But back in those days, commissioners didn't play, man.
Once the empire raised your finger, and it was an English commissioner, Admiral Hemingway, who raised that finger. Anyway, I lost my job in the police force, and from 1991 to 1994, those 3 years, I spent those 3 years in what you call purgatory. Purgatory. Anytime you go and look for a job, and you say you were a police officer, Papa. So, I stayed at Laclery in those days at my uncle. You know when you see you in a house and nothing, air running, you're not contributing nothing to the welfare of the house. Pressure is being put upon you. So I was told to leave the house. I slept in an old vehicle, Active Hill City Gates. The owner of that vehicle, I think he's deceased now. His name was Ado. When you live on top of Laclery going into Active Hill, I slept in that vehicle for about 6 months.
Wow.
I could recall one day, I think a hurricane took me in that vehicle there. Maybe it's one thing I made sure before I fell asleep, I used to pray. And my prayer was, God, one day you will take me out of that vehicle. That was my prayer. Then when that vehicle was towed away, I slept a few months. In those days, they had the laundry by where the Super J is in Laclery. That laundry name was Martinizing. They had a big white vehicle there. I slept in that vehicle. And St. Lucians, Gasper Henry, I slept under the Laclery Health Center. Yes, man. And one day I went to sleep, and I had that kind of fear. I said, Lord, supposing a hurricane or an earthquake passed and the building came upon me. But these were my trying times, from 1991 to 1994. And whilst living in Laclery, there was this young girl. She attended the Vidbutai school, a Christian girl, and she was the one that God used to minister to me. Brother Zachary, all how I tried to avoid her.
Wow, I can imagine.
All how, because at that time there, I wasn't seeing any lights. I wasn't seeing light. But she was the one that God used. One day I saw her coming, so I passed at the back of the Vidbutai school by the river. Man, the same place where I passed, that's the same way the girl passed. Gasper, give your life to Jesus. God will make a way for you. So I said, well, okay, let me just take what she said. I told her, well, I haven't got no clothes. She find clothes for me.
But how old were you at the time?
21 and 3, about 24.
Wow.
Yeah, 24, because I left the force at 21.
Okay.
So, see, about 24, half my age. Yeah, I mean, roughly, you know. So I went to church. It was the Bethel Tabernacle Church in Sanssouci. And the pastor name was Pastor James. Fast forward, he preached a sermon, and that sermon touched me. But I was at the back of the church. I had no clothes, you know. And he said, all those who want to give Christ their life, come forward. In those days, I was still gambling. I wasn't working. And I was seeing gambling as the only means of I surviving. And I know if I give my life to God, I have to stop gambling.
Yeah. And God is not coming down to give you some food. Then how that's going to work? Yeah.
So I was saying to myself, well, if I quit gambling, how I'll survive? Man, but I say, well, I will try that God. I will try that God. The first miracle I ever experienced in life was to stand up against my own will. I just feel a force just push me out of the chair, and I stood in the church, and the pastor called me forward. And he read a scripture verse to me. I think it's 3 John chapter 1, verses 8 and 9. He said, if you say you have no sin, you are deceiving yourselves, and the truth is not in you. But if you confess your sins, he is faithful and just to forgive you and to cleanse you from all unrighteousness. I say, Pastor, I do so many things already. Tell me to worry. God will forgive me. And I trust that God.
And look at you today.
And 25 years I've been serving the Lord. Yes, man. And God began to move for me. The same place where I wasn't getting work, I get free jobs. Then you have to choose, milly-mally, pick and pick which job you will choose. And God began to work for me.
There are individuals probably who are watching you right now, young men or women, who probably in that same situation. They really would like to believe you, but they don't really want to believe it because they believe the gambling or probably the prostitution or whatnot is what's there for them. What can you say to them, Mr. Henry, to try and persuade them that the Almighty is real, He is true, and He can take them out of that situation?
Well, all I can say to my people is that God is real. God is real. I reached a stage where I even wanted to kill myself. I was suicidal. Because I was saying to myself, boy, maybe I arrest fellas already and fellas behind bars, and when they come out, maybe they'll come after me. But I bite the bullet and I trust God. I trust God is real. Yeah. I trust the word of God that that when a man ways pleases the Lord, he maketh his enemies to be at peace with him. I trust the word of God. It is one thing to hear the word of God, but it's the next thing to trust and believe the word of God. When he said, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me, that is a promise. And I trust him. And he came true for me. And if he came true for me, he can come true for you. So whatever you are going through right now, prostitution, drugs, anger, man, I had one nasty temper. I had a nasty temper. I had a bad temper. But praise, man. Praise, man. Yeah, man.
Excellent. Shane, that's just, ladies and gentlemen, that's just so amazing, that testimony. And he's so correct. Trust me. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we have more questions. And we're going to be talking about the importance of giving. Stay tuned.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Sterile Zone combines 3 scientifically proven air purification technologies to provide a safe, effective, and energy-efficient way to clean the air in rooms up to 70 square meters. Make a genuine difference in the lives of those whose every breath is impacted by the environments. The quality of air that you breathe is very important. Don't play with your health. Protect you and your family against pollen, bacteria, dust, mites, mold, and viruses. Sterile Zone. Pure air, real science, a new generation of air purification. Distributed by Cool Dust Busters. For more info, call 758-713-5508.
Hi, my name is Sidil, and you may know some of my hits like this one.
Don't play with man. Man pull up like 10 bad man.
Our music inspires and entertains. It powers festivals and is an integral part of our history and culture. Creating good music takes hours of thought, writing, arranging, recording, and production. When people or businesses who use our music publicly or for commercial gain get a music license, they're not just keeping the law. They're also supporting music creators, producers, musicians, singers, sound engineers, and many others in the music industry. Keep the great music coming. Get a music license for your business place or event. Support music rights.
For more information, visit echorights.com. This message is brought to you by Echo and this Echo license station. Echo. Protecting music rights.
All for great savings, right? Flow gives you up to $80 a month off your mobile by just adding it to your home bundle. Enjoy the fastest internet speeds and free mobile calls from your home phone, plus HBO and free internet speed upgrade. That's more value while you spend less. Switch today, bundle and save up to $80 a month off your mobile. Call us at 1-800-804-2994 or visit us in store. Flow, keeping you connected. Terms and conditions apply.
You're watching MBC.
Welcome back to Police Insight. Your host here, Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte of the Royal Seneschal Police Force. If you missed the first half, you missed a lot. We have in studio Mr. Gaspard Henry, and he's the CEO of Feed the Poor Ministries. And his ministry is celebrating 15 years.
Yeah, man.
15 years of giving to strangers, people you don't know. How important is it to give, really? Do you think you could even assist in, even how do I say that, in the fight against crime, to give somebody something? What do you think?
Well, the way I see it, like all my life is based on giving, you know. And that is something I learned from the elderly people. I grew up in an era of kudme. I grew up in an era where even case your father come from fishing with a portion of fish, say if you have 10, he will reach home with about 4 or 5. Because on his way home, he will find...
Yeah.
On his way home. And to him...
It's nothing.
It's nothing. It's nothing. Because that's what But now we living in a world where, boy, is a WPC, where Pukau, every man checking for his own self. But it cannot work so. To me, when you see you give, you are creating a door, a space for you to receive something in return from the Almighty God. So giving is very important. And I know we have resources in St. Lucia where we can reach out to each other. That is the appeal. That is the appeal. Do not believe because you have today, you will always have. It just takes one sickness, one natural disaster to put you down, and then you will see how it's like to be without. So whilst you have, share, give a little something. And when you give something good. Not because people collecting clothes for poor people, for you to give a pants that's full of stains, or for you to go and take a dress that you don't want. You give something that you like. Don't give a shoe that you want to throw away. No. You give somebody a pair of shoes, it have a little lifespan in it. Okay. And if we do that, yeah man.
Yeah.
Brother Zachary,
I'm happy you said so.
I don't give Papi show.
I'm happy you said so.
I don't give Papi show.
Because even I've heard throughout the years, when you look at agencies like the Red Cross or the Salvation Army, they've spoken about that. Especially when you've had natural disasters, people want to donate, but they literally donate, you could call garbage.
Things they don't want.
Things they don't want, and that just cannot
be right. It can't be right. When you give somebody something, you give somebody something which is good. Yeah, man, that's how I operate. Yeah, man. And when you see we cook the food for the people, Brother Zachary, I just sit down amongst them and eat it. When the Kong strike. Because I just serve the meals.
You sit among them?
Yeah, I sit amongst them.
You don't shy away. Mama, it's a
my wife that cooked the food. Yeah. And she cooked it with taste. Yes. She is just cooking because it's for poor people. You just cook Vai. No. We give them a decent meal. And I too, because when the Kong strike me, I throw down a meal.
Gaspar, do you think it's possible for the world to eliminate hunger? Do you think there's enough resources and monies for everyone to eat?
Well, I think if we manifest a level of unity, we can do it. It's my firm belief, it's my firm conviction that when we put our minds, our resources together, we can do it. We can do it.
I was watching, I like watching international news, Mr. Gaspard. And I came upon a story that CNN was talking about, where there are 3 billionaires. They're about to be the very first tourists to be in the International Space Station. So they've paid their tickets to go up to space for 8 days. And each ticket cost $55 million.
Wow. By 8. 55 by 8
million US dollars.
That's 440 million,
And I'm saying, do you know the amount of people that could have been fed? Do we have a call, Shane? Okay, let's take that call. The lines are open. Good night, caller.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, sir. Talk to me.
Yes, I'm calling in the program. First and foremost, I'm so blessed to have a friend like Gaspar Henry. And throughout the years of Feed the Poor Ministry, when I was in St. Lucia, I also made it my duty to assist in whatever way I could have under the circumstances. Whether it be assisting in transportation and all of that. One thing I could say to St. Lucia is that Gaspar definitely has a passion for what he's doing. He guards these the poor and indigent jealously. You don't go and try to ridicule an elderly person because you figure out he's less fortunate and he cannot fight back. Gaspar does not stand for injustices. That's one I could say too. And it's amazing how 15 years has passed. And I remember Gaspar from day one when he started off, not having the finances and going around, basically begging to feed people, and eventually do it on his own, because he said, but Gaspar, you're selling phone cards, and you have to leave your phone card sales and take the money, the same money you're looking to make from the phone cards. This is what you're putting into Feed the Poor Ministry. So you understand, so it takes a special kind of person to do that, and a special calling, because I too believe that there is a special calling, and maybe a lot of persons who have not had the encounter with Jesus Christ or with God may not understand. When you hear that voice, you have to move, because if you do not move, you're standing in the way of God's business, and He will find somebody else to do it.
Wow.
You understand me? So I want to congratulate him on 15 years, and I know it was a 15 hard years, and it's something in there, and something in there as well. I want to say, we have to also put certain people on the spot in terms of some politicians who play political football with hungry people. There are people in the country, they know that they're struggling. And where I'm from, we are where I live now, we are a little more fortunate, where the government sends a stipend for you on your account every 2 weeks.
Okay.
In Canada.
And I'm saying it's not impossible for us to do that in St. Lucia, to get these people something. And of course, Gaspar's agency, his Feed the Poor Ministry, is one of those ministries that has been overlooked for a number of years.
I never received no big contribution.
Overlooked. And we all know where Gaspar stands politically, but when it comes to the hunger and
there's no politics.
No politics in that. No politics, because they cannot have only Labour Party supporters or only United Workers Party supporters. And that has nothing to do with that. And they need to recognize the mission. And if they recognize the mission and they understand the mission has no color, we are all St. Lucians together. We are going through the same struggle when it comes to feeding the poor. This is a situation that we really have to go beyond. Because I know there are a number of persons out there, and they've said it to me. Oh, I wanted to support Gaspar, but Gaspar is too red.
Wow.
That has nothing to do with the ministry. It has nothing to do with the ministry. You understand me? Because because he has never, and I've been around him for a very long time, he has never asked any of the people that he's given a meal what political party they voted for, if they ever voted. That's not what he's about. You understand me? So I'm saying today and tonight, I believe it's high time that the government of St. Lucia and the private sector really step up and look towards putting more money into such ministries and allow people like Gaspar to expand their operation, because listen to me, hunger in St. Lucia is real. There are people who wake up every morning without a meal, and they go and eat out of a garbage can. I've seen it with my own eyes. And like Gaspar said earlier, these are the persons who built this country from scratch, and they have fallen on hard times. Is that the legacy that we want to leave for our children? Because if we do it to them, it's going to happen to us. So, Gaspar, my brother, hold strength.
Thank you, caller.
My prayers.
Thanks, caller.
In my prayers.
Yeah.
15 years, my brother, may seem a long time, but in God's world, it's but a drop in the ocean. So hold tight, my brother. I wish you all the success under COVID, and I know COVID has presented you some unique challenges, but through it all, if you place everything at the foot of the cross, my brother, you know it's going to work out. Blessed.
Thanks for the call, man.
One love.
Thanks for the call. Yeah. That's Felix Fontenelle Tricky.
Oh,
he based in
Tricky.
Yeah, he based in Canada.
Okay,
and,
excellent.
Yeah, and when he was there, he always supported me, and everything he says is the gospel truth. But Zachary, I have never received no big contributions. I have never received no big contributions.
Not even from the state?
Nothing from the state. Never received.
1 second, I guess. But Shane, do we have to take a break for the lotto now? Okay. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, I want to delve into that support for Feed the Poor Ministries. Stay tuned.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs.
You're watching MBC.
The winning numbers for the evening draw of Tuesday, 2nd February 2021 were tic-tac-toe, 4, 6, 7, 8, 11, 13, 16. Big 4, 5, 6, 7, 5. Big 2, 4, 6. The multi-X ball drawn is FP. 1 off, 7, 8, 5. Lucky 3, 5, 2, 1. Super 6, 2, 5, 7, 11, 14, 21. The Freudian letter is J.
You're watching MBC.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Aging gracefully is the hope for everyone. But when you age prematurely, most people think that something is wrong with you. The natural enzymes and building blocks in your skin start to deplete, so fine or deep lines and wrinkles appear, making you look much older than you really are. At Derma Clinic, we can help repair your skin and change the way you look in minutes. These treatments will make you look younger. At Derma Clinic, we treat all kinds of skin problems, such as facial lines, dark circles around the eyes, crow's feet, and frown lines, using all-natural hyaluronic acid filler. So maintain and improve your facial appearance. For more information, call 453-6417 or 485-9818.
All for great savings, right? Flow gives you up to $80 a month off your mobile by just adding it to your home bundle. Enjoy the fastest internet speeds and free mobile calls from your home phone, plus HBO and free internet speed upgrade. That's more value while you spend less. Switch today, bundle and save up to $80 a month off your mobile. Call us at 1-800-804-2994 or visit us in store. Flow, keeping you connected. Terms and conditions apply.
You're watching MBC.
Good night, welcome back to Police Insight. Your host there, Sergeant Zachary. In studio with me is Mr. Gaspard Henry, CEO of Feed the Poor Ministries. I'd like to say good night to Sergeant Small. How are you doing, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. Don, good night to you. Thanks for tuning in. The lines are open. If you want to call in, say something. He's celebrating 15 years. Feed the Poor Ministries need assistance, whatever you can give, whatever donations you could give, because they have been tested this is a very credible ministry in helping the poor. We have a call on the line. Let's take that call. Good night, caller.
Yes, good night.
Good night, ma'am.
Sergeant Zakari.
Hey.
Yes, good night to my friend, the humanitarian, Casper.
Good night, bro.
Yes, my brother. It would have been remiss of me not to call. You know, we have been knowing each other for a very long time. I don't think I can con that, right?
Yes.
Yes. And I am very proud of your humanitarian powers, and it is well documented that your struggles, and this is testimony to your ability to rise against the odds. And that I say this because it has not been an easy road for you. And 15 years, especially when you started your struggles, and 15 years is no easy feat, my brother. So hang in there. I know that you have a lion heart, and continue to do what you have been doing as usual.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very
so
much. And in the event you may question as to why I'm holding this document there.
Yeah.
This document I'm holding in my hand there. That's not fake, you know. That's the real thing, you know, Brother Zachary. That is the real thing, you know. This is what you call certification of incorporation, you know. So Feed the Poor Ministry, it is a registered, non-profitable charitable organization. And if you go in the registry, you will find Feed the Poor Ministry there. And we have our legal attorneys to back us up. You see?
I know my friend, my comrade, I know where your heart is. You have a big heart and a very humanitarian individual as such, you know? Yes. So keep on the struggles, my brother.
Thank you for encouragement, caller. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And also thanks for always giving me some pep talks at will, you know?
Well, you two are my hero because I know that you have your different, you know, struggles of life.
Visual challenges.
You know, he's visually impaired. That's Gregor Stanislas.
Oh, that's Mr. Gregor.
Yeah, Mr. Gregor. Yeah.
Good night, sir.
Yeah.
Good night.
And he still doesn't allow that to prevent him from, you know, serving his country in whatever capacity that he you know, he chooses. So, my brother, thanks for your encouragement.
Yes. That's in order. One good turn deserve another, my brother. We are in it together.
Keep the faith.
Yes. Thank you.
Good night, sir.
Good vibes as usual.
Yes.
I enjoyed the program, Sergeant Zakari.
Thank you, Mr. Gregor. Much appreciated. Okay. Yes. I have something to show to you. You're not the only one that could show things. I could show things on TV too. You know, Mr. Feed the Poor Ministries, they have these perfumes that they sell, ladies and gentlemen. I just bought one. It was not a gift. I bought it.
I like that.
All right? I don't want you to think that I received
he's a fetus.
I bought my own perfume from Feed the Poor Ministry.
Yes.
So I'm encouraging those of you out there who want to get an excellent product.
And stocks are limited.
And don't forget the proceeds go to a very good work.
Yes, stocks are limited.
Yes, and stocks are limited. So you could just give him a call or you could call me and I could hook you up. In terms of support, you have been there for 15 years.
Yeah.
What would you say have been... Okay, we have a call. We have a call. Good night. Good night. Police inside.
Hi, good night, Sergeant Zachary, and of course your guest, Mr. Henry. Just thought I'd call in tonight. This is Jim Joseph, President of the Bosiju Community Group.
Good night, sir.
Yes, how are y'all?
Fine.
I just thought I would call to provide some encouragement. I know Mr. Henry the job that you're doing is a selfless one, and I know that your heart is in it, and I just want to commend you. Very good example. I know you toughed it out over the years, and of course, like a previous caller said, I remember you with your phone cards. I know you from Leclerc. This is Mr. Solomon. Yes. So I just want to encourage you, and maybe you are a good example for us, especially during this pandemic, where we have a lot of persons who need assistance. Over the years, we've had to, I think, with the COVID-19 pandemic, we've had to redefine who we consider vulnerable persons and persons in need. Many times we think of persons who are vulnerable or hungry as persons who are sitting by the boulevard, or persons who have outstretched hands asking you for something to eat. But as a community leader, as I go out into the community, we have people who from the outside look like they are doing okay. You see them with their big houses, you see them with their cars, etc. But these people are just as in need as those people who you are assisting, because they're not sure of where they're going to get a meal, how they're going to provide for their families. So that word vulnerability has taken on a new dimension. And it just calls for us to work together to put all party politics aside and for us to reach out to our neighbors. Sometimes persons may not come out and tell you that they are in need, but if we develop those kinds of social relationships, if we take the time to get to know one another, then we can identify needs and help. So I just want to commend you, my brother. Keep up the good work, and even when you get tired, know that God sees and that you will be rewarded. And I'm sure you are. The satisfaction that you get when you sleep at night knowing that you have done something selfless and you are fulfilling your purpose, why God has put you here in this earth. So continue the good job, and Corporal Zachary or Sergeant Zachary, keep up the good work in promoting these types of humanitarian acts, things that are not sensationalized, and really, you know, the public needs to see and get encouragement and motivation from and to emulate. So keep up the good job, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much for the encouragement.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much for the encouragement. I appreciate that. I think it kind of touched me because Zachary, Brother Zachary, when I decided to undertake Feed the Poor Ministry, I never knew that one day I would get a call to receive a Diamond Jubilee Medal from the Governor General. I didn't even forget that.
And how long ago was that?
About 9 years ago.
9 years ago.
Yeah, I received a Diamond Jubilee Medal from the Governor General for the...
And trust me, you deserve so much more. We have another caller on the line. Good night, caller. Police inside. Oh, please try again, caller. Sorry about that. Please try again. The WhatsApp number is 7200401. 7200401. Even if after the show, you could always reach me. You have a caller? Good night, caller.
Good night.
Good night.
Zachary Hippolyte, and good night to my good friend, Casper Henry.
Yeah. Good night, caller.
Let me just congratulate Gaspar. I know it has not been an easy way through. 15 years he's been heading the Feed the Poor Ministry. I always say in life, and then you give and you receive later in life. Never give up in whatever that you do. I think God had 10 commandments, but I have my 11th commandment, and thou shalt not give up. Whatever happens in life, once you go on the right way, on the right path, you will get blessings. And Gaspar, to be honest, God has blessed you, and He'll continue to bless you in what that you are doing. It is not easy. 15 years to do what you are doing right now, it is not an easy task. Okay? I know it's a struggle out there, and corporate persons are helping you. But so then when I meet you, Gaspar, you know, personally, when I meet you, Gaspar, you always give a little word of advice, which I appreciate you every time that you always poke me around. And I miss the bars you're selling on the boulevard. By your $2 bars, I miss that. Okay? So hope that you will continue one day to go back on the boulevard or somewhere I will continue to buy my own balls from you. Anyway, continue the good job, whatever that you do, good will follow you. And my 11th commandment, that's mine. Thou shalt not give up. In whatever that I do, I will prevail. So continue the good job, and you will prevail. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you, caller.
And tomorrow, God's will, I am coming to your home, I know your residence, whatever the sergeant evil it has there, I'll leave one reason, one for me, please.
Limited.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much. But just to speak about those cereal bars, Brother Zachary, I used to sell cereal bars for $2. These oats and honey bars.
Yes.
And people would leave my cereal bars for $2. And they would go inside Super J and buy it for $2.86. And they would come outside with the cereal bars without a nylon and hold the bars in their hand just for me to see
that's not
that they buy the bars for $2.86. And they would say, see me say, I'm not very rich. Imati.
Wow.
That is the kind of people that we have.
So they're none the wiser.
They're none the wiser.
We have a call on the line. Good night, caller. Caller, you there?
Good evening.
Good evening. Good night to you.
Okay, sir. Mr. Gaspar, what I want to say to you is just keep up the good work. Now, you know there are a lot of negatives out there. And I'm telling you, regardless what you and I do or any one of us do, you know we cannot ever be pleasing every single soul. Now, if you're doing something and doing it for the Lord, all you have to do is keep up. Your blessing is not from man. Your reward is not from men. But it is from God. Now, even if Mr. Zachary is sitting there with you, he's hearing me clearly, I know. What is important is not who you were before, but who you are at this time. We all have a past. If you turn to God, in the Word of God says that He's going to make you a new creation, a new creature. And that is not the words of any man. These are not the words of men. That is the word of the Creator. Now, you and I cannot sit and allow our past to deter us, brother, from our future. So, Mr. Zachary, even if people may say things about you, about your past, but who you are today is what matters.
That's right.
In the eyes of God, men may see you one way, but in the eyes of God, God sees you for who you are.
Amen.
So, Mr. Gaspar, in spite of the negative things, because you know, just like you made mention about the bars a while ago, you're going to get that because people feel if they contribute to that ministry, they will make Gaspar rich. You know, and that is why I tell you it is important to give. And Gaspar, remember one thing what the word says. There will always be poor people. That's a fact. The poor will always be in existence. If you and I are going to do something to help, brother, let us do it from the bottom of our heart. If you give to anybody and they decide to take whatever you give to them, especially, let's put it so, finance, they decide to take the finance and do anything illegal or anything wrong with it, it is left to the person and God. But God will not hold you responsible for the goodness that you have done. So you give out of the abundance of your heart, and God is going to bless each and every one of us. So Gaspar, I want you to continue, regardless of all those who try and distract you or whatever, brother. Do it in the name of the Lord and keep working for God. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, caller.
Just wanted to just thank.
Yes, you have some persons that your businesses who have supported you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I want to thank Flo. Flo is the blood in Feed the Poor Ministry veins. Flo, Lucilek, Deacon Nathaniel, Sandra Emmanuel / Preville family, Caribbean Metals, the boss man at the OECS Secretariat, Miss Lydia Faisal, attorney at law, Mr. Michael Gordon, attorney at law, Miss Andrew, a former teacher, Mrs. Charles at Fix, Must Pass Driving School, MBC Choice, DBS, HTS, Hot 7, UTV, Mortgage Finance, Claudius Francis, his wife, Philip J. Pierre, Stevenson King, SSDF, Joachim Henry, Kenny Anthony, Salezo Maison, Beachcomber, Herman Gil Francis' wife, Claudius Emmanuel, Attorney Matthew in the PM office, Brother Roger, Cap Maison, Chamber of Commerce, the female custom officer, Miss Shamin Gardner, Rekai Wholesale, and Donovan Williams, the former PS. I'm Claudia Spreville, Mr. Charles of Bank of St. Lucia, and my legal attorneys, Mr. Colin Foster, Mr. Michael Gordon, and Miss Lydia Faisal. And I don't want to ever forget those hardworking staff members of mine. My wife, Carol Henry, and my staff, Catherine Small and Cecilia Calix. And there is a driver who makes himself always available, Anthony Gasper. And all those who have supported me throughout those 15 years, I want to thank you all very much for being there with me. And if it's one thing I want to say, Brother Zachary, when I started Feed the Poor Ministry, I never wanted it to just be in Castries Central alone. It is my desire that I can branch off. I can have a little outlet somewhere else. Because I will not be in Feed the Poor Ministry forever. I'll be 53 years. So I'm looking forward to meet my Creator.
Because you only operate from, the ministry only operates from Castries.
We're only in Castries now.
And it would have been your dream to see you branch out?
Branch out, maybe a Roseau Valley, or a Cooley Town, or somewhere in Ancillary, to reach my people. I have to reach my people. The calling is not only in Castries. I have a calling to spread that organization, but you cannot do it without resources. So you must stop playing the petty politics. I believe I have a right to be affiliated or to be associated with any political party I so desire. That is my constitutional rights. But we have to look beyond that. Look beyond the political colors, and let's focus on helping our people.
You know what's amazing?
It's our people.
We all will get to that stage of life one day.
One day we could reach there. And hunger doesn't know political colors. COVID has shown us that. COVID do not know political colors. Hunger doesn't know political colors. We have to be mature enough to consider, I am supporting Feed the Poor Ministry because Feed the Poor Ministry, it is being run by a local man who have been through the struggle, who is in there. The state can investigate. The state can know the amount of money Feed the Poor Ministry have by one phone call. The state can monitor that.
And I really wish to reiterate again how much you've stood the test of time, because
15 years.
In my memory, they've had other ministries. I remember once, I think they used to have back on track ministries, they used to have other stuff, and you are the one, you're still there. 15
years, and I never get no big contribution. Some organizations have received things like 250,000. Some organizations have received acres of land. Some organizations have received millions of dollars. But where are they now? As the songwriters say, where are they now? Where are they now? But look at Feed the Poor Ministry, who have faced the tough times, and we're still in existence for 15 years.
How has the pandemic affected your operations? Are you still able to do what you normally do?
Well, sponsors have dwindled. Many people have lost their jobs. But guess what? The lines get longer.
Wow.
The lines get longer, Brother Zachary.
So though the sponsorship has shortened, if you want to say, the lines have not shortened.
The lines haven't shortened. The tail is wagging. Because there are many people who lost their jobs. Many people working one day in, one day out. And as the caller from Bosses, you say, there are many people who are in need, but they will not want to come out. And let me just say that I do not only give cooked food, but I also assist people with raw supplies. But I don't have a trumpet to blow and make it known that I'm doing that. But I'm doing it. People come to me for raw supplies. And I cannot see I have raw supplies there and don't give somebody a portion of rice or a portion of peas or some chicken to cook food for their family. Because all of us in this struggle together. All of us in this struggle together.
The last time you were here, and I'm curious, I'd like to know, and I think it's important to bring it up. There are some individuals who made certain pledges or whatnot that they would have called you or contacted you. Did anybody contact you?
No, I get no calls, sir. I get no calls. And that's something that's something I have lived with.
Yeah, you've gone through.
There are persons who have made pledges and they never really keep it. It's up to them and their conscience. But I think we have a little thing that we had promised to discuss. Some little memories of being in the police.
In
the police force.
Before we end, for sure. You said there's a very fun memory that you have.
And I have.
That you'd like to tell us. Go ahead.
I love to share some stories of when I was a police officer, you know.
Before we end, we have
before we end. There was aqua action. In those days, they had aqua action, you know. Boat race and, you know, kite flying up north.
Although, guys, you have one more call. I think we should take that call before we continue. Let's take that call. Good night, caller. Listen there? Okay, go ahead.
And I think I just joined the police force. And boy, Zachary, your boy was sharp. your boy was sharp.
Yeah.
And when you see you train by Herman Gill Francis.
Okay, we have that call.
You must be sharp.
Hold on. Let's take that call.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I'd just like to call to congratulate Mr. Gaspar Henry and his team, and his wife, for the fantastic work that they've been doing this last 15 years. And I want to reassure him of my continued support to him on the splendid work that he's doing, and that we'll always try to find more support for him in the days ahead. So keep the good work up, my brother. And I remember that day of the aqua action of you jumping in the water.
Let the cat out of the bag. But I will still say, okay, yeah. Thanks, caller. And Brother Zachary, I was walking by the seaside, so you could see that line.
Yes.
And for no reason, a partner just splashed water on me in uniform by the seaside. And guess what he did? He ran in the water.
Thinking
that because I'm in uniform, I wouldn't go in the water. But Zachary, I had pocketbook, everything to see me. I thank God those days didn't have no Instagram or video recording
or cell phones that could have recorded.
Or cell phones. Man, I go in the water and I arrest Mr. Managaza. And there was a little station in Rodney Bay area. I bring Mr. Man there and I release him at 6 o'clock. You know, go home and behave yourself.
He must have been very shocked.
You see him.
Because I don't think you'll get a police officer doing that.
Mr. Man threw water at me and he ran in the water with the hope that I wouldn't go after him. Man, in those days I was determined, man.
Mr. Gaspard, what would you like to see? What is your legacy? How would you like to see? Like you said, you're not here forever.
Yeah.
We all have a time span.
Our exit. Yeah.
What would you love to see before the good God Almighty calls you home?
Well, first of all, I am 52. I pray that God will keep me around. I want too many. Like if I get a little 75 years, I cool with that. if I get 75, by that time I want to be rocking in my rocking chair. I want our peaceful St. Lucia. I want our St. Lucia to be peaceful. I want our people to unite. I want less segregation. I want less discrimination. I want us to be able to enjoy the spoils together. And I want us to be a loving people, a people that respect each other property, and accept people for who they are. Less discrimination, less victimization. Do not punish somebody because their political ideologies are different from yours. All of us cannot vote the same party, Brother Zachary. We can't vote the same. We can't support the same party. We see things different. Even twins see things different. Even twins see things different.
Yeah.
But we must find a common ground. We must find a common ground to work together.
Especially when it comes to those of good. You know, common grounds that are good. To help
people.
Yes.
Yeah, you and I can watch a movie now. And when we are called to highlight the movie, we watch the same movie, you know. We will give different versions. That is just how we are. So that is the St. Lucia that I want. I want to be in a free St. Lucia where I can just leave my home and I know, well, boy, I'm safe. That's it.
Shayna, send a voice note for you. Are you able to play it? Okay, I think a viewer sent a voice note. Let's just say that. Yeah? I can play it from the phone. Oh. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. And I think that'll be our last comment.
Okay.
Good night, Mr. Gaspar. Good night, Mr. Hippolyte. Mr. Gaspar, I feel so good that you shared your story, and it makes me realize that I have a passion to care for the needy, just like you. So one day I'm hoping that God will bless me to reach the path that you have reached. For our civilians that is in need. So, Mr. Gaspar, I just want to congratulate you on a job well done. God is looking over you, He's protecting you, and one day we will meet in person.
To take on that
control.
To take on that path.
Demanding, because I'm not there forever, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not there forever.
Yeah, you never know. But that might be a successor. You never know.
Could take over. Because there have to be a day when I want to just pass over.
Yes.
But I don't want to pass over to anybody.
That's right.
I want to pass over to somebody that have the passion to continue.
That's right.
Because as I tell you, I'm getting ready. I'm for my rocking chair, man. I want to rock in my rocking chair.
Okay, final comment as we end.
Well, Zachary, I want to thank you very much. I want to say to you that the two of us, I think we were educated at the Corinth.
Yes.
At the Corinth school.
Yes.
So we are, we are Corinthians. We are Corinthians. And I want to say to you that I love you, I respect you, I appreciate you. You know the struggles of life. And I want to tell the government, I want to tell people, I appreciate your support, I love you all, but do not play politics. Don't play politics with people's lives. Don't play politics with people's health. Let us live as St. Lucians in peace, love, and tranquility. And my legacy that I leave behind, that I want to leave behind, is that I have never abused any child in a young age. There are many people who are big people now, and they can remember those who preyed on them when they were small. But by the grace of God, I've never abused any child. I've never violated anybody. And that is the legacy I want to leave behind, that he was a good man.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Henry, for being on the show.
Blessed love, man. Yes. Blessed love. God bless.
So this has been another episode of Police Insight. As you know, it's time for us to go. What can we take from this? It's good to give. Even as professionals, sometimes when we get paid, there's nothing wrong with buying a meal for someone. You don't have to know that person. You don't have to know the individual, especially someone you see that appears to not be in the same status of life as you are. I believe the world has enough resources to feed everyone. However, there is greed. There is greed. We've been cultured to believe that this property is mine, this land is mine, this is mine, and guess what? We pass away and we leave all whatever is mine right there for someone else to enjoy. So as we move on, ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? What can I leave with you? It's good to give. Let's remember Mr. Gaspar. Those of you who wish to get in contact with him, you could call me also, 72-00401. I repeat, 72-00401. You could WhatsApp me. I'll make sure I make the link with yourself and Mr. Gaspard. Whatever you could do, however you could assist, let's see if we can help this fine soul realize his dream before he's gone. Have a good night. Stay safe.
God bless. Yeah.